Ooh. Ooh. Hello, trendsetters. Haven't said that for a while. G'day, folks. Just a quick update on the Atlas Dash8 motor issues. I've got onto a website that someone else suggested from the video. Thank you very much for all your tips and ideas. So much stuff it's called, but they sell a lot of Atlas parts. That's the people that I bought the last two motors from that don't fit. Well, they fit sort of, but they have a hex drive instead of a universal drive. But I've been mucking around with my very first Dash8, not the war bonnet that shat itself. The very first one of my first ever, actually my very first ever DCC locomotive. So these things would be nearly 20 years old. The two Atlas Dash8s in BNSF, but I'll show you what might work, and I need another drive shaft, but we'll see whether that works. But anyway, let's have a look and see what happens. So this is the old motor. You can see with the universal drive, that's what we need to go down to the trucks, which is there obviously. And the new motor comes with a hex drive, as you can see there. Now there is another motor on this guy's website for a B27 or a B dash a U-boat, and I think it's the same as this one. It has the universal drive on the end of the flywheels, but it does have one small flywheel at one end. So I've emailed the gentleman and see whether that will fit. So if that will fit, that will be a good replacement for one of them. But I want to do three, and I've had a bit of a muck around. Atlas also sell a hex drive shaft that goes in here, the hex drive in here, and it's just a steel shaft, and it's got a ball joint on one end, which I thought perfect. But no, it's got the ball joint, and I don't know how that works. It's got this bit here, the actual ball of the universal, but it's fixed. So that's never going to work. It must be on their new drive shaft or something else. Anyway, but then I thought if I could prise the universal fitting out of that flywheel there and somehow attach it to the steel shaft with the hex head that goes into the motor, that could be a go. And I thought, well, I don't have a puller to pull the flywheels off. And I just thought, as a joke, well, can I lever it out with a screwdriver? And bugger me dead, trendsetters, look at that. I managed to get the universal joint out of the flywheel end. There, look, it's gone. That's the other end. So my theory is, if I can buy these shafts and cut the shaft down to size, drill this out ever so carefully as an interference fit, put that on the shaft, and then I'll be able to this will be, whoops, this new bit here. Now hang on, I've just realised that's not going to work because I don't have any flex. Oh, yes I do, but yes, no, oh, I thought, oh, I'm answering this as I go along. Now, see, this is telescopic because you need it to be telescopic because as the trucks move, the drive shaft is going to change length slightly. And I thought, oh no, hang on, if I put this into the steel shaft and have this down this end here, it can't move in and out, but it can because the hex can move in and out of here. We're answering it as we go along, trendsetters. So, what I might do is I'll wait for this gentleman to get back to me, but if that's the case, I will order, I've already got another one of these motors, I've ordered two. So I'll order 4 of these drive shafts. They're only $6 each or something. That's American, that's $250,000 Australian. And I can price these shafts off. And I might order one of those other motors and that'll do one. And we might get our Dash8s going again. Anyway, now another thing I did think about is, I could take the flywheels off, pull the flywheels off, and just put the flywheel and the universal joint, this universal joint, there on the new motor, but there's a couple of issues with that. There we go, that's the little I love these little universal joints. They're so cool and they work so well. These hex drives are a cop-out because they have a lot more friction, and where these little universal joints here with the little pins going, they have virtually no friction. Where a hex drive jammed up in here, it's twisting and going in and out, and it does have a little bit of friction. I'm nitpicking, but anyway, we've got to put up with what we put up with. We still got stupid worm drives, so we won't get on that. The trouble with, where is it? The trouble with pulling the flywheels off is that a lot of pullers don't fit in here to get the flywheel off, and even if you bought a really good little 3-jaw puller, you might not get it in there. And then I've read a couple of forums. The issue is that sure, you get the flywheels off, but a lot of the new motors now don't have hardened shafts, and people have just destroyed the motors trying to press the flywheel back on. So that can be a problem too. But then again, you could always heat the flywheel up, and that could be an option, and then just slip it on with an induction heater or other source, boil it in water or something like that. Anyway, that could be an option. I still might look at a flywheel puller because they are handy to have, but the trouble is getting one that will fit in between the motor and the casing. Yes, that's the other thing. Oh, now the other thing too was I had to use slightly longer screws because the pads on the bottom of the new motor aren't as long as these, so they don't sit as well. They don't touch the bottom of the motor pad, but they do, with a longer screw, they do up okay, and this will be fine. It'll be fine. So anyway, we'll see how we go. Thanks for all your tips, and I will keep you up to date. So there you go. Right, well there you go. I just snuck down here in between guests into my office, so had a quick go at that. So that could be a go. That could be a go if I can drill out that little universal, use that new drive shaft that fits into the hex. We could be on a winner. The only other thing is, how good are these new motors? Are they worse than the old ones, or are they better? Don't know. Anyhow, we'll find out. Anyway, we'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Hooroo for now. Bye-bye.